I, yeah, did it again, run out. Sorry, part two. Yeah, no production values as ever at Smoking Cheltenham. Okay, sorry, tried to get to the end in one go. As we were saying, Grand National, yeah. Willie's three winners of this are all prepped in a Bobby chair. The last two of those were 8 year olds. Lecky Watson will be an 8 year old this year. He could be of interest as a Browns winner. He's got that sort of, you know, not quite good enough for the Gold Cup, but yeah, maybe a national horse. Um, the last two, I Maximus, Nick Rocket, ran in the Irish National the season before. Cade Bourbon ran in that. He'll only be 7 next year, but he's another kind of likely type for it. If you're sort of thinking Lecky Watson's interesting, I think, Gordon Elliott's also took out the National 3 times. Stellar story, we like him. He's always looked all stamina. He came second in the Browns and, didn't really have the race run to suit. I think the further the better, he's an Albert Bartlett winner. He's all stamina, Chantuat, Bob Mare. He's 50 to 1, you know. Um, but yeah, in summary, I'm not putting anything up, but if I could be tempted with Stellar Story at 50s, maybe, But from Willie's point of view, yeah, we want to be paying close attention there to the Bobby Joe. And just in general, then, I mean, we haven't got so many bets this season going into next season. We've hugely cut down on that, hugely. We've got 2 points in the bin. Um, a point Joyous at 50s for Champion Hurdle and a point Spillane's Tower at same price for the Gold Cup. We've bin both of those, they're in the recycle bin. We've got 5 points on Copec de Boards for the Arkle at 5 to 1. Yeah, I mean, you can get sevens now, so, but I'm still hopeful for him. We got 5 points on Final Demand at sixes. I do like Final Demand, and he's a bit shorter now, so in total, we've only got 12 points on. Okay, but like I say, Willie's just changed the landscape of racing in general, and and it also applies to the ante-post betting it has, and you have to adapt to it. He's just got all those races we've been talking about. He's got multiple options in those races, and it just makes playing the ante-post long range at this stage just tricky, like really hard. So you have to adapt to that. You have to try and pick horses that aren't Willie Mullins, but that's tricky because he took out 10 at Cheltenham this year, and you'd imagine he'll be doing similar things next year. Or horses that Willie trains that have kind of got nailed on targets. It's impossible not to get dragged into Willie Mullins bingo when you're playing ante-post because he's got like most of the best horses, hasn't he? But yeah, I'd say, the landscape ante-post betting has changed. Willie's changed it, and you have to take that into account. So we've been a lot more cautious than we were at this stage last season. Okay, so that's it all then. Okay, so yeah, sorry we ended up with a two-parter. Um, nice to see you again anyway. Going into next season, I don't know what I'm going to do, to be honest. I know you'll be seeing a bit less of me one way or the other. I do like how we've done it in the first couple of seasons, but it takes up a lot of my time, and I'm not like getting paid for it or anything. I've got like 4 kids, a job, time's pretty precious. So as much as I enjoy doing it, I'm going to have to cut it down a little bit. And also from like I say, it's, from the ante-post point of view, probably wise not to be having so many bets. We ended up with a lot in the recycle bin, and you have to learn, don't you? Like I say, you have to adapt. And Willie's just single-handedly changed this thing. I mean, they did cut a couple of the ante-post races down as well, haven't they? We lost a couple there. Got more handicaps, So a few things there, but I'd say mainly Willie, but so yeah, I'll probably not be able to help myself. I'll pop in and see. I will, but I think like doing the weekly things, like week in week out every Monday, like the sort of weekly review and all that. Not so much, I'll probably either, if I do end up doing it most weeks, I'll probably just condense it massively, so we won't be having the big long rambles. It'll be like generally maybe like 10-15 minutes, just sort of bang bang bang, here's what I fancy, sort of thing. Oh, and why, um, and most of the bets I'd imagine will be coming when we get an on-run and no bet, but yeah, of course we'll have some before that as well, I'm sure, you know. So yeah, I will see you again. I'm not sure quite how the format's going to go going forward, but yeah, I'll see you again. So, I hope there were one or two things you got from that, maybe a few things to think about, mull over the summer. Have a great summer, enjoy it, and I'll see you again in the autumn sometime. Okay, all the best then. Bye.